Alright, what's going on everyone? Togavora here, and today I'm bringing you guys another NPL Season 8 video. This is Week 8 versus Zazo. A new coach has appeared. Our good friend Rizzy Powell has decided to step down from the league to focus on his own life, IRL stuff. He also just really wasn't enjoying it the most. So totally respectable decision, but in his place, Zazo, Iron Flash Gaming, has come in to fulfill his role. And so, yeah, we'll be taking on him. Of course, he was able to make a couple transactions before our match, and that's that. So hopefully I'll actually remember. Fuck, it's so funny that I didn't last time again, even after I called myself on it before. Hopefully I'll actually remember to put his team up right here. But his team is Megalodios, Tapu Fini, Tyranitar, Snorlax, Roserade, Infernape, Bronzong, Raichu, Swampert, Young Mega, and Dugtrio Alola, the Scourge. This thing is fucking terrifying. For those of you not watching Minors, it's like 5th on the leaderboard. Carney's just had like 2 6-0s with it. It's insane. So, gotta stay woke, gotta prep for that boy. Speaking of, Pelipper does a pretty good job of stopping it. But, this is a... So, in approaching his team, first of all, I just want to say, Infernape is an absolute dawn. Against my team, I have pretty much nothing for it. I'll go into the checks I have as I go throughout my team for it, but partly just because of Infernape. Rain is going to be absolutely necessary for this game, so that my Scizor and Ferrothorn can work together well, and not just be redundant and killed by everything red coming towards them. So, the speed here is to outspeed a Tyranitar and get off a Scald on it, because that's a Mon he has on his team. Defog's cool, keep hazards off, so, and like Spikes, if he decides to bring Spikes, Roserade. General Rocks don't hurt this team too bad, but they'd be helpful so the Pelipper can switch in more often if I kept those away. So that's a thing. It's mainly here to get Rain up though. It can also be a good check to the Young Mega as long as it's not carrying HP Electric, which I don't. I think HP Fire and HP Ice are a lot more likely. Something about having everything be quad weak on your team is that it really messes with what hidden powers your opponent can bring. So that is kind of nice. But yeah, and so in conjunction with that, another part of my defensive core, we have this very specially defensive Mega Scizor. A large reason it's here is for the Megalodios, but it can also be a good switch into Roserade. And well, Roserade and Megalodios, as long as the rain is up, as HP Fire won't be doing shit. It can take hits from everything. It's a decent check to on Mega if it doesn't have. It's a good check to on Mega if it doesn't carry HP Fire. It can be a pivot into Dugtrio. It can be a pivot into Tapu Fini, Snorlax. Just overall, can be a really great pivot. Allow me to get switch advantage and deal with some of his bigger special attackers. Now next we'll go into another more Spadef Mon with the Occaberry to make sure it can take even better fire hits. This is actually nice, so in the rain, this can eat any one hit from the Ape. Especially, it actually eats a fire hit better than it does a fighting hit. But it could take a hit from an Infernape potentially. That's not the plan against Infernape though. We're going to have to really make sure we keep Manaphy healthy in the back until that's gone. As it is a primary way for me to check it. As long as it's not boosted, there's no way an Infernape can OHKO Manaphy. And so yeah, so Stealth Rock is there because rocks are good against everything. We want to get Chip on his team. Power Whip is there to hit Mons, namely the Tapu Fini, get huge damage off on that hopefully. Also hits a Swampert very hard. Leech Seed is very good to spread around his team, as I doubt the Roserade will want to switch into this, and if it does, with the Occaberry, this is a fantastic counter to Roserade. Also, the Spadef allows it to do good versus Young Mega, and then we have Gyro Ball to take it out. So just going to be a pretty good pivot on a team. Now next we have, and then the last part of our defensive core, which is a big defensive core this time, is a Rest, Sleep Talk, Dragon Tail, Thousand Arrow Zygarde with the Yache Berry. One of the only things I can do to at least even check a mixed ape is this boy right here. I have the Dragon Tail so that if he brings a Curse Lax, which was a trouble in some of my mock battles, I could detail that out of here, though I also have another way of dealing with it, which I will discuss later. But yeah, it can be, it's a good switch into T-Tar. Good switch into Snorlax. My only switch into Ape, even though it's not great. My only true switch into Ape is it cannot be 2-hit KO'd, really. Maybe Banded CC. I actually didn't run that calc, but given my team, I don't think he can afford to run Banded. Ape's dual stab is why it does well versus my team, so I think Life Orb, Expert Belt, something like that is significantly more likely, or even Z. Next, so one of our main offensive threats is Waterium Z Manaphy. After the +1 speed with the Rain Dance, I'll be able to outspeed any non-Scarf member on his team. Actually, I can outspeed any Scarf member on his team, also minus the Infernape. As obviously Megaladios cannot be scarfed, and this gets me above Yanmega and everything else on his team. So that is pretty cool. I guess I can't outspeed a scarfed Raichu either, but I don't see that as likely. So I don't have Energy Ball here, which means I don't have a way to necessarily OHKO the Swampert depending on its spread. If I'm in Rain, I still do, but if outside of Rain, it's a roll / depends on his spread, and it makes it so I have to weaken the Tapu Fini to at least half before I set up a Tail Glow with this. But aside from that, huge threat to his team, has good coverage for everything else. Really looking forward to it in the late game. The reason I absolutely had to put this much speed into it, which I normally wouldn't want to do, is so I can outspeed a Yanmega after it protects, which I think is a very likely scenario if Manaphy is in a sweeping position. And last but not least, we have my favorite set this week, Hoopa Unbound. I have really enjoyed using Hoopa on this team, actually. I've really felt like I've started to actually get a sense of how it should actually be used, of how to diversify what it runs every week and not be forced into running a Choice Scarf. So we have a bulkier Hoopa, bringing Assault Vest again, which we also brought versus Maddie. Drain Punch, Knockoff, Hyperspace Fury, and E-Ball. Knockoff and Hyperspace Fury are, even though they are kind of redundant in a lot of matchups, and it's usually just picking between the one, and this matchup they're both extremely necessary. Hyperspace Fury is there because it's integral to allowing me to knock off the Latios, and this is a fantastic check/counter to any special Latios set. I can switch it in without much worry. I don't even take half from a Draco. And I can knock it out immediately with the Hyperspace Fury. Drain Punch is there for the Tyranitar and the Snorlax, and Knockoff is there because I was having trouble versus Snorlax in prep, and if you knock off the Iapapa Berry or whatever 50% berry someone runs with Snorlax, it actually cannot be used again, it cannot be recycled and found again. That is the reason why that is there. Shout out to Adam for that little tech, which I did not know that that's how that worked, so that definitely saved me a lot of hurt. Now next, this last move either had to be Gunk Shot or E-Ball, or I guess T-Bolt, but if I'm going to run T-Bolt, I'd rather run E-Ball so I can nab that Swampert as well. And this is mainly to hit the Tapu Fini. Gunk Shot would have done more, especially given that I am more physically offensive, but after Rocks, E-Ball has a good chance to 2-hit KO anyway. It's a lot more reliable, and also has the advantage of OHKOing the Swampert / doing a good chunk to Tyranitar, which is another potential switch into this if he doesn't think / doesn't know I have Drain Punch. So I'm happy to go with E-Ball here. And yeah, so that is the team. Did a good amount of testing. I feel pretty confident about this, so I will see you in the game versus Zazo. Alright, so here we are in the battle versus Zazo. And a couple things that I noticed right off the bat that are interesting. I see no Snorlax, which I really did not expect. I really expected it to come. The Dougie is there, so I already know I'm going to lose. But the biggest thing is, you can see the first one I think that he elected upon his team was Ape, because it absolutely runs a train through me. Whoops, sorry about that. So looking at matchup right here and thinking about leads, the thing I had led with every time in my mocks, pretty much, at least my more successful ones, that actually makes me sound like I win more mocks than I had. But one of the things I was always doing was leading off with my Pharaoh. As the typical leads I saw were T-Tar, Tapu Fini, and Swampert. And Pharaoh matches up well against all of them. However, looking at his team, looking at my team right here, I'm like, there's no way he's not leading off with Ape. So I canceled the Pharaoh play pretty quickly and clicked Manaphy, because it could force out the Ape and get that pressure off my team. So there we go. We get the lead matchup right. And right here, I'm thinking, well, I just got to make the safe play and click Surf. And I outspeed and OHKO his Ape. So I don't know his spread. I didn't ask about this. I didn't know his role. I talked to him about that after the game, and he just said it was a mistake in prep. that he didn't speed creep it right. I think just not knowing the Manaphy or not realizing I would obviously want to creep the Manaphy for the Mega, whether it's messing Manaphy speed up or on Mega speed. Probably not messing Manaphy speed up because it's pretty well known it's level 100, but that happened. So much pressure is off me. Offensive pressure. I feel significantly just relieved about how this game is going to go. Okay, so here we are, and he decides to go out into his Tapu Fini. So he brings out his Tapu Fini, and if I remember correctly, I decide to switch to my Ferrothorn. If he doesn't have Taunt, I'll have an opportunity to get my rocks up. Something that's pretty nice. So he goes for the HP Fire. I get my Stealth Rocks up here, and he just defogs them away. I go for the Power Whip, get 56 off, and now I'm pretty happy because this is looking like it's nearly in Energy Ball range from my Hoop Unbound. Now right here I make a misplay that was pointed out to me after the battle and talking about it with Aster, which is that I know he has to go for HP Fire here to knock out my Scizor, and given the fact that he does not have a Mega Latios, preserving health on Hoopa Unbound is not as necessary of a thing for me to do. Thus, I should have switched out to that on the HP Fire, saved that in the back for a sack later in the game, because this would have just taken like 5. But anyways, go for the Energy Ball. Does over half to this Alolan Dugtrio, but since Alolan Dugtrio, of course, does not have Arena Trap, and I don't want my Hoopa getting weakened. I could take any one hit, but I don't want it getting weakened. And as Infernape is gone, I can use my Zygarde to take that. That still does a lot, honestly, given how much bulk I have. But I just take him out. I could have rested there. Might have been the right play, but it is what it is. Alright, here I go for my rest, as I assume he'll just get up his Stealth Rocks, which is okay. I don't have a great thing to prevent that. I think there's an argument that I maybe should have gone to Pelipper there. But regardless, I don't. Now, right here, I don't have great responses for this Young Mega. I shouldn't have had to, though. I should have been able to detail that out and get in a better position, but unfortunately, I missed, which is unfortunate. I'm just going to get this thing out of here. Don't want to go in through my team, and right now I just get a chance to kind of scout around, get damage off things. So this seems to be a bulkier Cheetar. It crits me. That crit definitely did not matter, and I see an opportunity to set up with my Manaphy, yeah, so I just go straight off of the Z Rain Dance. I want to get my speed up so I can get the Unmega, and he misses the Stone Edge, so this is really important, because had he hit, I mean, you'll see how much damage it does as I go for the Tail Glow here. It does 43, so it wouldn't have killed me, but it would have limited my Unmega to getting, or my Manaphy to getting at the most 2 kills. I would have been, assuming he got a similar roll, you know, I don't know his investment, so, I mean, there's your chance he could have got, that was a min roll, and then he could have killed me the next turn. That definitely would have changed it. I didn't ask him for a spread, but assuming he would have gotten, you know, this was a mid roll or something, and he would have gotten around a similar, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, I would have been limited to 2 kills, because after that, I would kill whatever he decides to switch into, and then his T-Tar would come back in. I would either kill his T-Tar or knock out any other sack, as he used the sand to get that last bit of damage on me. So, in that respect, it definitely mattered a lot more than it otherwise would have. But he goes out, makes the smart play, goes to T-Tar. That way, I don't have the rain-boosted Surf to annihilate the Swampert. He gets the chip on me, which is also nice. I go for the Surf, puts it real low, but doesn't quite knock it out. Like I was saying, I need the rain to knock it out from full, and he's able to take me out. But from here, I'm able to go into my Pelipper and get the rain back up and just clean up the game, as the Scald will take out that. And as long as he has no HP Electric, he can't take out my Pelipper. And if he does have HP Electric, that means he doesn't have HP Fire, which means my Spadef Scizor would have been able to come in and clean up the game. So that is GG. I didn't perfectly Theoremon out, and I don't necessarily know if there's a way it could have. I would have gotten 1 less kill, or I still only actually got 2 of those kills, but the difference would have been Swampert would have been at full. I think from then it was definitely still in my favor to win the game. Pelipper still kind of just went in towards the end there. But yeah, that's what happened nonetheless. So, I just would have taken more switching, might have been a lower diff. I think I still would have had it, but it is what it is. That was our game. That's 2 wins in a row. It means we still have the tiniest chance for playoffs. So next week it's super important. We come out, we beat Regulator. I didn't mention this earlier, but for some reason you're not watching Iron Flash Gaming. I don't know how much of these NPL games for these last few weeks he's going to be uploading, but he's awesome. His link will be in the description. But next week we face off against Regulator, our fellow TNI member, TNI over, everyone. We're going to be playing him, so that's a big dab. That's going to be a fun match. And right now we're both currently just out of playoff contention, so a lot on the line there. If he beats me, I am straight out of playoffs. If I beat him, his shot for playoffs is not looking great either. So super high tense match with a super good friend. So got a lot to look forward to next week. GG to Zazo. That's 2 wins in a row. Slightly less washed up Chris. And we'll see you guys next week. My name's Togavora. You're yourself. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.